John Cena just ended the most hated championship reign in WWE history. The 16-time world champion, in what many thought would be a nostalgic return match, a feel-good moment for the legend, absolutely annihilated Dominik Mysterio in the most one-sided destruction we've seen in years. This wasn't a competitive match. This wasn't a passing of the torch moment. This was a public execution of everything Dirty DOM represents. And when John Cena stood over Dominik's broken body, holding the Intercontinental Championship high while the crowd erupted in the loudest ovation of the decade, it wasn't just a title change, it was justice. If you think you're ready for the story of how the greatest wrestler of a generation came out of semi-retirement to save the Intercontinental Championship from the most undeserving champion in history, think again. Because what happened on Raw wasn't just about winning a title, it was about restoring honor to a championship that Dominik and Judgment Day had dragged through the mud for months. And I'm going to break down every devastating moment of how Dirty DOM got exactly what he deserved. It started 3 weeks ago when John Cena made a surprise appearance on Raw. The crowd went nuclear the moment his music hit. Cena walked out in his signature gear, 20 years of legendary moments flashing through everyone's minds. He grabbed a microphone and his message was simple: I'm back for one more run. Not for championships. Not for main events, but to give back to the business I love, to work with the next generation, to create moments that matter. The speech was inspiring. Vintage Cena. But then Dominik Mysterio's music interrupted. Dirty DOM walked out with that smug expression, Intercontinental Championship over his shoulder, Judgment Day flanking him like bodyguards. The boos were deafening. Dominik grabbed a mic and his words dripped with disrespect. John Cena, the legend, the icon, the man who used to matter. You want to give back to the business? How about you give me a match? Give me the rub of beating the great John Cena. Give me a moment that elevates my legacy. The audacity was stunning. Cena's face showed genuine shock at the disrespect. But before he could respond, Dominik continued, oh wait, I forgot, you only wrestle at WrestleMania now. You only show up when it's convenient. You're not here to help the next generation, old man. You're here for a paycheck. So why don't you go back to Hollywood and leave real wrestling to those of us who are here every week? Drop your immediate gut reaction in the comments. Did Dominik Mysterio just make the biggest mistake of his career challenging John Cena? The crowd was livid, chanting, Cena's gonna kill you. John's expression shifted from shock to the determined look that's preceded countless legendary moments. Dominik, I came here tonight to be positive, to support the current roster, to be a good soldier. But you just made a mistake. You disrespected not just me, but everyone who's carried this business while you've been riding your father's legacy in Judgment Day's coattails. So you want a match? You got it. And Dominik, I'm taking that Intercontinental Championship because you don't deserve to carry it. The challenge was issued. Backstage, Adam Pearce quickly made it official: John Cena vs. Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship at the next Raw. The wrestling world exploded with excitement. Social media went insane. Hashtag Cena vs Dirty DOM trend worldwide within minutes. This was huge. Over the next 3 weeks, the build was perfect. Dominik cut cocky promos about how he'd expose Cena as washed up, how Judgment Day would help him retire the legend, how this would be his defining moment. But his words rang hollow. Everyone saw through the bravado to the fear underneath. Because Dominik knew everyone knew that facing John Cena meant facing judgment for months of disgraceful behavior. Cena, meanwhile, trained like a man possessed. Social media clips showed him in the gym grinding. His workouts were intense. This wasn't a part-timer coasting on reputation, this was a professional showing respect to the championship and the business. His promos cut deep. Dominik, you've disrespected your father. You've disrespected that title. You've disrespected wrestling itself. And at Raw, I'm going to do what your father should have done months ago. I'm going to teach you a lesson about respect. The personal nature elevated this beyond a normal match. This was about values. About what wrestling should represent. Cena embodied hard work, respect, and earning your spot. Dominik represented entitlement, shortcuts, and disrespect. The contrast was perfect. The night of the match arrived. Raw opened with electric energy. The crowd knew something special was happening. The show built toward the main event with perfect pacing. Every segment reminded viewers what was at stake. Commentary hyped it as potentially John Cena's final championship match. The weight of history hung heavy. Dominik's entrance came first. Judgment Day surrounded him, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, JD McDonough, a wall of protection. Dominik held the Intercontinental Championship high, trying to project confidence, but his eyes betrayed nervousness. The crowd rained boos down so loud the building shook. Signs everywhere: Dirty DOM sucks. Cena gonna destroy you. Worst champion ever. Second question for you: on a scale of 1 to 10, how hated is Dominik Mysterio? Vote in the comments. Then John Cena's music hit and the eruption was biblical. 20,000 fans on their feet. The roar was so loud it drowned out the music. Cena stood at the top of the ramp, taking in the moment, knowing this could be his last title match. He walked down that ramp with purpose, slapping every hand he could reach, creating memories, being the people's champion one more time. When Cena entered the ring, he and Dominik went face to face. The size difference was notable. Cena looked like a man. Dominik looked like a boy playing dress up. The referee held up the Intercontinental Championship, showing what was at stake. The bell rang and history began. Dominik tried getting the jump with a cheap shot, but Cena caught his arm, twisted it, and delivered a thunderous clothesline that sent Dominik flying. The crowd exploded. This was already going badly for Dirty Dom. Dominik scrambled to the corner, looking to Judgment Day for help, but the referee had banned them from ringside earlier in the night. They were forced to watch from the stage, helpless. Cena stalked Dominik like a predator. Every movement deliberate, every strike calculated. This was vintage Cena, methodical, powerful, relentless. He whipped Dominik into the corner and hit a running bulldog. Dominik tried escaping the ring, but Cena grabbed him by the hair and pulled him back in. No running tonight, Dom. You wanted this fight. Now you're getting it. The match became a clinic. Cena showcased why he's one of the greatest ever. Every move was executed with precision. Every transition was smooth. Meanwhile, Dominik looked outclassed. His offense was sloppy. His timing was off. The gap in experience was glaring. Commentators were burying Dominik, he's completely outmatched. This is men versus boys. Dominik has no answer for John Cena. 10 minutes in, Judgment Day couldn't take it anymore. Despite being banned from ringside, they rushed down the ramp. Finn and Priest slid into the ring to save Dominik, but Cena fought them all. Superman punched to Finn, AA to Priest. The crowd was losing their minds. Cena was destroying Judgment Day single-handedly. Security and referees flooded the ring, ejecting Judgment Day from the building. They were physically removed. Dominik was now truly alone. His safety net was gone, and the panic on his face was priceless. Third question, should Judgment Day have been banned sooner, or did WWE book this perfectly? The match restarted and Dominik was terrified. He tried begging off, pleading with Cena. Come on, man. You've made your point. You're the legend. I'm sorry. Please. But Cena's expression was stone cold. You had months to be humble, Dominik. Too late now. He lifted Dominik for the attitude adjustment, but Dominik wriggled free, hit a desperate low blow when the referee was blocked. Cena doubled over in pain. Dominik seized the opportunity, grabbed the Intercontinental Championship, and smashed it across Cena's back. The referee was calling for the DQ, but Cena grabbed the referee's shirt and pulled him back. No, don't end this match. I'm not winning that way. Restart it. The crowd gave Cena a standing ovation for his honor. Even in pain, even after being attacked with a weapon, Cena wanted to win the right way. The referee reluctantly allowed the match to continue. Dominik couldn't believe it. His desperate attempt to escape via DQ had failed. Dominik, seeing he was out of options, actually started wrestling, landing drop kicks, hitting a tornado DDT. For the first time in the match, he was showing the skills he should be showcasing regularly. He climbed to the top rope for a frog splash, his father's move. The crowd booed the theft. Dominik launched himself and connected. He covered Cena. 1, 2, THR kick out. The near fall gave Dominik false hope. He thought he could actually win. He set up for another frog splash, climbed to the top, but Cena recovered faster, met Dominik on the top rope. The crowd rose in anticipation. Cena hooked Dominik and delivered a superplex that shook the entire ring. Both men down. The referee counting. Both slowly got to their feet, trading punches in the center of the ring. The crowd chanting "Let's go Cena" with every strike. Cena started hulking up, shaking off the punches. The familiar sequence: block, right hand, block, right hand, whip to the ropes, shoulder tackle, another shoulder tackle, spin out powerbomb. The crowd was chanting along with every move. You can't see me. Cena's signature taunt. 5-knuckle shuffle connected. The building was shaking with noise. Cena lifted Dominik for the attitude adjustment, but Dominik landed on his feet, shoved Cena into the ropes. Cena bounced back. Dominik went for a super kick, but Cena caught his foot, spun him around, lifted him onto his shoulders. Attitude adjustment. But Cena didn't cover. He looked at the crowd. They were roaring for more. Cena nodded. He lifted the nearly unconscious Dominik again. Second attitude adjustment. Still didn't cover. Lifted him a third time. The message was clear: this was for every disrespectful promo, every cheap victory, every time Dominik embarrassed the championship. Third attitude adjustment. Cena finally covered. 1, 2, 3. New Intercontinental Champion. The arena exploded like a nuclear bomb. Confetti fell. The crowd was crying. Grown men were sobbing. John Cena, at the twilight of his career, had saved the Intercontinental Championship from the most hated champion in decades. He held the title high, tears in his eyes, emotion overwhelming him. Fourth question, was this John Cena's greatest moment, or just one of many? Rank it. Rey Mysterio rushed to the ring. Dominik's father. But not to check on his son, to congratulate Cena. Rey hugged John, thanking him for doing what a father couldn't. The symbolism was powerful. Rey raised Cena's hand while Dominik lay broken in the corner. The son who disrespected his father. The championship. The business. Finally got his comeuppance. Other legends appeared on the stage. Edge. Randy Orton. The Miz. All showing respect to Cena's accomplishment. This was a moment. Not just a title change but a restoration of order. The Intercontinental Championship meant something again. Backstage after the match, Cena cut an emotional promo. This title represents hard work. It represents earning your spot. Dominik Mysterio disrespected everything this championship stands for. So I came back to restore its honor. I don't know how long I'll hold this title. Maybe 1 week. Maybe 1 month. But while it's around my waist, it will be treated with the respect it deserves. Dominik, meanwhile, was found backstage being loaded into an ambulance. Medical staff checking him for injuries. Judgment Day surrounded him, furious that their boy lost. Finn, how did you lose to that old man? Damian, you're embarrassing us. The internal fractures in Judgment Day were showing. Dominik had failed them and now faced their wrath. The wrestling world's reaction was unanimous. This was justice. Social media was flooded with celebration. #ThankYouCena trend for hours. Wrestling journalists called it one of the most satisfying title changes in years. Even casual fans who hadn't watched in years tuned in to see the highlights. Cena vs. Dirty Dom had captured the mainstream, but the story wasn't over. The following week on Raw, Cena defended the title against everyone who asked. He brought back the open challenge that made this title legendary during his previous reign. Every week, a new opponent. Every week, a showcase of wrestling. Cena was doing what he promised, making the Intercontinental Championship matter. Meanwhile, Dominik spiraled. Without the championship, Judgment Day turned on him. They blamed him for embarrassing them, for losing to a part-timer. The faction kicked Dominik out. He was alone, humiliated. Everything he'd built through shortcuts and disrespect came crashing down. Rey Mysterio tried reaching out to his son. Dominik, you can come back. You can change. But you have to show respect. You have to earn your way back. But Dominik, in his bitterness, rejected his father again. You're just happy I lost. You never supported me. I don't need you or anyone. The relationship remained broken. Fifth and final question, what should Dominik do now? Rebuild as a babyface, or double down on being hated? John Cena's Intercontinental Championship reign continued for 2 months. He had classics with Gunther, with Chad Gable, with Bronson Reed. Every match was excellent. Every defense made the title feel important. Cena showed that even at his age, even as a part-timer, he could still go. He restored prestige to a championship that desperately needed it. Eventually, Cena dropped the title to a young, hungry competitor who earned the opportunity through weeks of hard work and impressive performances. The title change was clean. It was respectful. It was everything Dominik's reign wasn't. And when Cena passed the championship to the next generation, he did it with honor. In the aftermath, wrestling historians debated where Cena's Intercontinental Championship run ranked among his accomplishments. Some said it was a footnote compared to his 16 world titles. Others argued it was more meaningful because it wasn't about him, it was about saving the championship itself. About showing young wrestlers what respect and honor look like. About reminding everyone why these titles matter. Dominik Mysterio's career after losing the title took a dark turn. Without Judgment Day, without the championship, without his father's support, he became a cautionary tale. A reminder that shortcuts don't lead to lasting success. That disrespect catches up to you eventually. That talent isn't enough without character. But there were glimmers of potential redemption. Months later, Dominik cut a promo admitting he'd been wrong, that he'd let fame and shortcuts corrupt him, that he wanted to earn respect the right way. Whether this was genuine or another manipulation remained to be seen, but at least the possibility existed that Dirty Dom could become something more. The legacy of John Cena vs. Dominik Mysterio at Raw was clear. It was the night justice was served. The night the most hated champion got what he deserved. The night a legend showed a pretender what championship material really looks like. And it was a reminder that in wrestling, as in life, respect isn't given, it's earned. Share this video if you celebrated Cena destroying Dominik. Comment your favorite moment from the match. Like if you think Cena's IC title run was legendary. Subscribe to Wrestling World CC because we cover every epic moment in wrestling. John Cena saved the Intercontinental Championship. Dominik Mysterio got wrecked. Justice was served. And wrestling fans everywhere were reminded why we love this business. Because sometimes, just sometimes, the good guys win, the villains get their comeuppance, and legends prove why they're legends. This was one of those nights, and we'll remember it forever.